Hey, what's up guys? How's it going? So we're doing Chaos Attack again, and I thought I'd mention this. I don't know if you've ever done Chaos Attack, but if you're new to the event, just make sure you garrison as many people as you possibly can. You get more points that way. FYI. So if you've ever wondered, how do you get to the top? That is how. I don't know why, it just seemed like a lot of people start out, they don't have a lot of troops, and so if you don't, then obviously, yeah, you can't garrison as many people, right? And depending on how many march queues you have. Like, I've got 5, but that might also be because I've already got the research for it. So it's just something to take into consideration while you're doing the event. The nice thing about this is you don't really have to worry about a whole lot, because as you can see, I'm already rank 4, and I haven't done very much. But as you can see, not everybody's, I guess, acquainted with this event. So you can kind of get away with getting some pretty stupendous results. Now, since, I've been running this alliance of mine, known as God, which is, it's a chill group of people, so if you like coming to the game and you're interested and you're willing to play, then I might open arms to some players that are willing to play, but you got to be willing to play. You can't chicken out halfway in 3 months later and then decide, not for me. Well, I mean, yeah, you could, but I would rather if you stay. It's a little bit more entertaining anyway. Let's see now. To get to the top is going to take a little while. I don't think there's going to be enough rounds for me to get there, so I might be able to get 3rd, maybe. And that's a maybe. That's a solid maybe. But, I don't know. With the event and everything, though, one thing that I would like to keep you guys at least on your toes is that there are things to look forward to. Outside of the fact that, you guys have probably didn't already, if you didn't already know, we're part of the creator program now, so we're working our way up. I don't know, last video I had somebody that was kind of, I wouldn't say they were very critical, but I guess one thing that, I should probably say with a grain of salt is that I am new to the game, right? So mechanics wise and attacking, I'm sure there's going to be something that I may or may not get right completely. All I'm going to say is fundamentally, I'm never going to spell you wrong, is what I'm going to tell you right now. Anything or everything I tell you is only what I observe. It's like, now how any one thing happens, or rather why it does what it does, there's always a technical oversight sometimes. But like, hey, look at what we've achieved, my guys. Look at this. Okay, we go after super resources. We go after void bases and such. We've got territory, right? We're not hurting. Like, it's not really not that big of a deal. Now, granted, you can see that they all come from this one little chaos fortress, right? And then, of course, they rinse, repeat. Now, I don't know, the event itself is not one to really sweat over, you don't really have to worry about it. You don't have to lose any troops or anything. So, yeah, you can see I'm at 6.6. I'm going to be shy just by a smidgen. And really that has to do a lot with the fact that when I started, I hadn't really paid any attention to the fact that, I basically goofballed it and wasn't, exactly available right away as the event started. But that's how you maximize your points and such, at least with Chaos Attack. I hope it somewhat helps a handful of you guys out there that are just kind of starting to get used to the game and some of the events. So, hopefully, I'm hoping that that'll help you. But something else too, and this is really something that, it's specific to events, right? But like, if you're gonna do events and you're gonna go ham on them, I really suggest that you want to aim for like certain prior, like say if for example, right? Like I mean, you can see like here if you join the community, you get 200 crystals if you join on Discord or Facebook, right? Yes, I know, and of course on cue, the cat who's here, but her name is Lucy and she is demanding. Anyway, the main thing is what I'm trying to get at here is that like when it comes to the events, I mean, ultimately, whether or not you do like the super spending packs and stuff like that, I'm gonna just tell you right now, I really off the top, I mean, there's all you can buy to your heart's content in this game, right? But there are a couple of things that I will say that are probably a little bit better spent, right? Meaning that like if you're gonna spend the money, right? I've been finding that like if you buy the stamina pack, that's $6 a day. It's a relatively cheap pack, and it's not terribly difficult to acquire what you need, which is stamina, right? And you just turn around, you go in here, and you just pick your heroes. Granted, you do this already. If you aren't already doing it, you just go on here, you tap your stages, you throw your swipes, and then you're done, right? But the nice thing about this is this gives you extra stamina, which then allows you to do this. And you get to swipe again. And then you're getting resources, which is also useful, right? But then you get the additive of just constantly getting that much further ahead on your heroes. And I think that's something that you can't really ignore, because the people that are going to have their heroes upgraded really quickly in the game are going to be the same people that are buying that pack, I promise. Because you can only buy up to $6 worth of it every day. And that's assuming you don't spend 300 or so crystals to get an additional 120 stamina on top of that. Now, I don't know. I mean, something that I do realize is that, yeah, you could, in theory, okay, go to your alliance shop, and if you're super picky about what you've got in here, which again, some people are, I don't know. I mean, you can get anything from 5-minute speed ups, an hour-long speed up, and you can recall your troops. I mean, there's lots of options here, right? But one of the things that I really kind of want to get at least with all those different choices that you can make, is that if you are going to go and, I guess, spend ridiculous amounts of money on the game, I think the investment is really got to be targeted towards like certain things. Like, for example, Tellian is really, really nice. Like, I like him as a hero only because really you're gonna get a nice crit damage increase, plus you're decreasing the enemy attack speed and increasing yours, while simultaneously you get this really nice range ability, which is kind of nice. But I don't know. I mean, ultimately, what you do and how you focus your time and energy is really going to be crucial in terms of like what you're going to get out of the game. Like in my case, I'm actually always focusing on my battle barge, and that's partly to keep myself ahead. But I also know that like not everybody in the server is actually focused on getting their battle barge upgraded. There's a couple of exceptions to this, but it doesn't really happen that frequently. So as long as I stay ahead, I'm usually okay. And the thing is if you look at the upgrades on these, I mean, yeah, they get pricey pretty quickly. Like, in case you didn't realize, yeah, you can spend your heart's content in this game, and you also can pay for it. Uh, it's like, it gets pricey fast. But, like, if you look at here, like, you get all the way down, and you can go all the way up to as much as 40. Right? And I'm only at 27 right now, but I know that there are some critical points that you need to be aware of, meaning you need to be paying attention to this. Because you'll notice that, like, from 25 to 30, for example, I mean, you're going from every 5 levels to a new tier. I mean, that's a pretty big deal, because anybody or everybody that fights below that tier is going to get their ass completely handed to them. Without question. And I mean, it's like, even now, it's like now that I have a fairly decent number of these, granted, it isn't to say that it's cheap, right? Because I would say, well, part of the reason why I can do it is that I basically build my resources rather than go around and gather, I actually just go around and raid the gathering people is what I do. Now, I mean, that's kind of the statement of the century. How does one avoid having to spend money? Ah, yes, that's right. Just take from the people that are. Or the ones that are just fortunate enough to be very rich in resources, whichever the case may be. But with that in mind, I don't know. I mean, with the Navigator's Quarters, I mean, I've been working on this, and these are kind of a tricky thing, because you got to get alliance communicators, and really, about the only way I find that you can get these are really either by doing hostile fleets, which, I don't even think, that's not even the right, see, now I'm thinking of, I think it's the orc excavators that I'm thinking of, actually. I'm trying to remember which one it was, and I think it's the orc excavators, not the rallies. So never mind. I'm sitting here speaking gibberish here, but yeah, because one of these. Oh no! Here it is. Yeah, so you can get alliance communicators if you hit them inside your territory, but I could have sworn. I think you can't actually get them, at least while you're in your own territory. Anyway, like that's. It's part of the point. And then there's also the breach assaults, which, with the breach assaults, that's where you're going to get a stupid number of alliance communicators. There's probably more alliance communicators just in doing breach assault than there probably is any other event. I mean, I don't tread on that terribly lightly, because the thing is that, mind you, it's a lot of work, and it gets worse the higher the levels that you go. It just gets worse and worse and worse. I mean, it's one of those things you gotta be kind of, I don't know. It's like it has a progression level. You can't like just yank it. And what I guess what I'm saying is you couldn't grind it as easily. Like you can, but you're not gonna be able to just do it frequently enough where it makes any sense, because you're going to be limited by the amount of AP you have. And that's the other pack that just so happens to be right but conveniently beside the stamina pack is the AP pack. Now, I mean, one thing I will point out to you guys is that if you go to your strategy, like here, you'll notice that there's the Canticle of Nomnicia, right, which is going to give you a lump of resources. The most important one here is the Revigoration skill, though, because that's going to give you another 50 or so AP. Pretty damn useful. Outside of that, I mean, really, you can work your way up, right? But for the savings, I mean, I really think the AP from here is worth its weight in gold. Like, what you get from that is very useful. And it's not to be ignored. I really think most people will benefit from getting that skill attached. So really make sure you do have that on if you don't already have it. But otherwise, yeah. I mean, I think if there's anything else you guys want to know, I mean, I just, I guess one thing I will bring up, and this is something I noticed here in the week, right, is that, some people are kind of wondering, like, well, how do I get, like, Cronus, and how do I get, like, Agaton, and Maya, and all these other characters? And my guess, at least with most of these heroes, from what I can tell anyway, and this is just somebody coming into the game, and, my observation is that it seems to be, it's like, basically dabbled in events, right? It's like the events pretty much dictate what you're gonna have at that point in time. Like, you'll notice if you actually go to this, you'll notice that, like, you're going to occasionally build up over and over and over from here on out, right? And as you just gradually go down that line, they're also going to probably give you more and more and more. It's just like Adremus. I mean, Adremus started out being somebody that you really didn't see, didn't know how to get, and then he just kind of showed up on your doorstep on an event. So I think it's just something that you need to be very weary of, and make sure you prepare for whenever an event shows up, because once you have them, you're pretty much good to go. But once the events kind of just drip away, then you're also kind of falling behind, and that's, I think, one of the things that is really interesting in terms of like how you can play this is that you don't necessarily have to be a pay-to-win player to play this game. There are some options, and there is actually some strategy involved in this game that for the PvE content in terms of what you can do and everything, it's really enjoyable, actually. I mean, compared to some mobile games I've played, it's like if you're gonna go around and you're gonna like hit tiles and stuff, then all the power to you. But like, really, I think it's kind of fun if you just go around hitting chaos forces and stuff, and you just work your way up the path that way. I mean, that's really enjoyable for me. And granted, you can go raid and attack other players, but like the early game doesn't really encourage it that much, other than the statistics that you're going to need, and then also the ranking that you're going to want right behind it. Yeah, I mean, you can see I might be up there on the personal ranking, but personal kills not so much. I'm like, I'm not far behind, but I'm not near way at the top either. And so, but on that note, the last and final thing I will say about it is that now that I am Marshal of God and Ken is departed from us, now we're going to hold a funeral for him. So we're going to have a Viking burial, and we're going to burn Ken, is what we will ultimately end up doing. Now, unfortunately, I don't want to do that right away, so we're going to kind of hold him for where he's at right now, because, well, I mean, we're going to do it, but just not right away. Because I don't want to do anything until I know for sure, but I'm thinking we're pretty sure, I think. So, which is unfortunate. So if any of you guys want to say your prayers and say thanks to Ken. He was a really good marshal. Now, of course, the marshal before Ken was, I don't even know how to pronounce his name, but whatever name he gave himself, we're just gonna leave it at that. And I say that because it's, I believe, Chinese, but I don't actually know. It's in a different language. Let me put it that way. It's not English. Whatever words those mean, or rather the shapes and letters that come from that, to me, it's like symbols. It's like, I can't comprehend what I'm seeing. I'm sure they mean something, I just don't know what. And that's the nice thing about playing these kind of games. You really never know what you're going to expect, and nor do you know what you're going to run into. So, on that note, I hope you guys are having a great day, and I will see you guys to the next video.